Oh dear, I'm not sure I like that.
Well, they're right, you know. I mean, we've been on about differences and how nice it is if we all work together, but differences can be difficult, you know.
Yeah, but is building a wall or duffing them up the only answer, Buff?
Well, I don't know. But don't you ever feel like you want to biff someone if you don't agree with them?
Yeah, frequently. But it doesn't really solve the problem, does it?
No, it doesn't. Here, look what I've just found in the Bible bookshelf. It's a story about two people who were completely different, yet they became friends and worked together all their lives. Shall I tell? It happened in Capernaum, a fishing village on the shores of a huge lake. And there, if you just happened to be strolling down to the harbour almost 2,000 years ago, you'd have seen Peter the fisherman hanging out his nets to dry. And further up the street, in a dark, poky little office that smelt of ink, papyrus and drains, you'd also have seen Matthew, the tax collector. Peter was a big man, the strongest fisherman in the area.
Yeah, I know the sort that chews glass and can crack nuts with his bare hands, and he can take a telephone directory and just rip it in half.
They didn't have telephone directories in them days.
No, but if there had been, he'd have just... Oh, go on, Tina. You tell a story while I look for my rippling muscles.
The strongest fisherman in the area. And the best, too. Who caught the most fish? Peter. Who had the fastest boat? Peter. And because he was so strong, no one argued with him. Know what I mean? Matthew wasn't a bit like Peter. He was small and hunched from sitting in that smelly little office collecting taxes all day. And because he collected taxes, everybody hated him.
Yeah, I can see him. It's Scrooge, Shylock, Fagin, counting his money and testing it with his yellow, fang-like teeth. Ow, that's a bad one.
Bad money?
No, a bad tooth.
Everyone hated him because the town was full of Romans. And it was the Romans who demanded the taxes because they'd conquered Palestine. So the townspeople hated the Romans and the men who worked for them. Matthew worked for them. So, you can see that if there was one type of man Peter wouldn't have liked, it was Matthew. And Matthew wouldn't like Peter. And yet they became friends. And it happened like this. One night, Peter had been out all night fishing and he hadn't caught anything.
Nothing? Not even a sardine?
No.
Tiddler?
No.
A boot?
No. He just sat down in the bows of the boat and felt very depressed.
Like this?
Yeah, like that. And while he was sitting there, he heard a voice just behind him. And the voice said, "Let down your nets on the other side of your boat this time." Peter turned and saw a man on the shore.
Are you talking to me? Do you know who I am? I am the greatest, the best, the fastest boat, the rippling muscles, the lot.
But the man on the shore didn't seem at all impressed. He just smiled and spoke again. "Sail your boat out a little way and do as I say."
But don't you realise that I've been out all night fishing? All night?
But the man didn't even blink. "Just do as I say."
Well, all right, but it's a waste of time. I'm only doing it because it's you. Hey, why did Peter do that? I mean, a perfect stranger comes up to him and tells him to do something and he just does it.
Matthew found the same thing.
Did he?
Peter sailed his boat out to sea, and when he let down his net, he caught a whole shoal of fish, so many that he had to call for help to prevent the nets breaking. When they got ashore, Peter found the man still watching him. The gaze of those strong, dark eyes really disturbed him because, although they had a distinct twinkle in them, they seemed to see clear through him. "Come," said the man, "follow me. I will make you fishers of men." And they followed, Peter and his friends.
What about Matthew?
Matthew was sitting alone in his office when a shadow crossed the door. He looked up in the middle of his counting and saw a man called Jesus standing in the doorway. Unlike Peter, he recognized him immediately. He knew it was Jesus and that he came from a small town called Nazareth. Matthew knew everyone. Tax collectors do. Matthew looked hard at Jesus. Suddenly he was afraid.
What do you want of me? Can't you see I'm busy, counting my money? Most important. Why are you looking at me like that?
And Jesus said, "Come, Close your office and follow me. And Matthew did. Jesus was choosing his followers, and each one was quite different from the others. Yet they all worked together because in his presence, over the months that followed, they realised he was God's son. They forgot about the past, the Romans, boasting. Why, Matthew even forgot about the money.
Oh, yeah, but what I'd like to know is...
Oh, dear me, not everybody. Time's up.
Come on, time for one last song.
Hang on, I'll turn it on. You turn the handle, JD.
Hurry
All
up,
right,
JD.
then.
Yep, here we go.
I am me and you are you. We are not the same. Differences are difficult, but we found the way. Jesus helps us live together, knows us all by name. Matthew knew and Peter found, he shows the way. Knocking on doors, opening windows, up and down and round. We are the Sunday gang. There's a lot to be found around. Taking a trip through God's creation, finding out the way. We are the Sunday gang. Thanks for being with us today. Bye, everyone.
That's it then. We'll be back again next week with another Sunday Gang show, which is going to be all about the world God's given us. Okay, see you then. Bye.